Hello and welcome. So, a little while ago, I did some videos on escaping spawn on 2B2T, and on the first video, I ended up pausing briefly to go into the door and got killed while AFK. So it got me thinking, what would happen if I was to go AFK at spawn? How many times would I die? Would I get killed, or will I just get kicked from the server for being AFK? So I spent a day doing just that. I did a mixture of Overworld and in the Nether to see just exactly what would happen. How many times would I come across other players? How many times would I die? How many times would the session end due to getting kicked from the server for not moving? So here we go, we have our first AFK session and we have our first player. So clearly a noob, got himself some soil there. And yeah, that's it. He's see me, gone, nah, this person's not holding anything, they're not doing anything. And he's heading off and carrying on with his attempt to escape. Which is kind of funny because on that video I died to a new player. They'd come along, I could see them a little bit in the video after I got back. I could clearly see they had no gear, but they'd found me and killed me. And I admitted then that if I was to go around spawn and I found somebody AFK, I'd kill them too. To be honest, it's it's one of those things of, if you're AFKing at spawn, you don't deserve to live. So anyway, so this is what this video is going to be. Now I have sped it up massively because if you're getting kicked, it's only like 16, 17 minutes. I'm not 100% sure. I have tried timing it, and sometimes I seem to get kicked after 15 minutes, other times I seem to get kicked after 20 minutes. I'm not sure if it's like a hard rule or if it's just because of the server suddenly going, oh, you've not moved for a while. Alright, so let's see how this video goes. Speak to you all in a bit. So I got kicked then for being AFK. So I made a decision that if I got kicked for being AFK, I wouldn't continue recording. Wouldn't continue being AFK in the same location. So each time I got kicked, I'd pause recording, I would die and then respawn a new location. Because if I'd gone however long, 15, 20 minutes in that location without being found, the likelihood is nobody else was going to be coming along. Now, if I could see that somebody was approaching, that there was somebody in the area and they hadn't got to me by the time I got kicked, then yes, I would just log back in the same location and see what would happen. So, just in case you're wondering, am I staying in the same place? No. The plan is to keep moving around. So to stay in the location till either I get found and killed, or the server kicks me, and then go to a new location and start again. Now, it's a good job you can't see me right now because as I'm talking, for some reason, I am waving my hand around. I am one of those people who have to hand talk. That when I'm talking, I find myself having to do gestures with my hands. I don't know why we do that. It's one of those very, very weird things that some people do, and I can't explain it. And to be honest, when I notice myself doing it, I do find myself getting very annoyed with myself because it's a very strange thing to be doing. Alright, that's me going a little bit weird. So, yeah, let's carry on and see if anybody finds us this time. And let's see what happens. So between this clip and the previous clip, where I got kicked for being AFK, I initially intended to go into the Nether to do a bit of AFK in there. Unfortunately, all the portals near where I was were portal trapped. So I was recording at the time, and did get stuck in the portals until I got pushed back through. But I chose not to keep them in the video because the actual particle effect really messed with my eyes. And since I knew I was planning to speed these up anyway, I realised it would make it probably 10 times worse. So apologise for those, that bit hasn't been included. There was only one point which I was tempted to keep, was when a player did actually spot me and come over and kill me. But other than that, it was literally me standing in the portal, punching at the obsidian, trying to see what would happen first, me breaking the obsidian or the plugins pushing me back out of the portal at the other end. So far this is our third overworld location, or possibly fourth? No, pretty sure this is the third one. So we'll see how things go, and potentially on the next one we will attempt to go back into the Nether, because I do want to try some Nether ones, as other than that first person, so far no one has found us, which is a bit surprising. I thought, you know, there'd be the odd person with the founders, because we are in various locations within the spawn area, sometimes closer to the middle, sometimes further out. And while I don't expect there to be a huge amount of people around, would expect possibly at least one person to come along in the 15 to 20 minute time frame. But no one has shown up other than a skeleton. So it shows me really how unlucky I was on that video, escaping spawn video I did, that those 2 minutes that I was gone when I went down to answer the door and bring in a parcel, that somebody found me. I was just very unlucky. So let's carry on and see if anybody else finds us. Okay, so once again we got kicked without anybody coming along. So yeah, so we've headed into the Nether now, and we are close to the hub. We're pretty much on one of the cross axes, and we're only about a couple hundred blocks out, so we are very close. So I decided not to stay right at the centre, because that's pretty much, I think, guaranteed that someone's going to find us. But we haven't gone very far out, so to see how long we go. So when I first joined, nearly, well, it is 12 months now, though when I recorded this it wasn't quite. I'll explain in a moment why there's been such a delay. There was always people at the hub. The amount of times that I slipped into Nether and tried to get through near the centre and not gone really close in, maybe like 300-400 blocks away, and they nearly always came across people, either new players or experienced players. Most of the time new players, and that who weren't interested in me, I wasn't interested in them. We were all new and just trying to survive. The odd experienced player, of course, would very quickly end my Nether travel. But now there doesn't seem to be as many people in the Nether. You don't seem to have as many players hanging around in the Nether. It used to be there would be constant crystal PvP battles going on. I don't know if it's just the time of year, because it's January at the moment when I was recording this, or whether the player base has changed. So anyway, so yes, so as I was saying, there's been a bit of a gap. So I recorded this initially back in January and it's now in February. Initially I wasn't sure whether I was actually going to do this video, but after some thought, I thought, you know what? Yeah, I will. It was kind of an interesting experiment to do it. So, aha! We have a player. So, come back to that in a minute. Okay, so this guy's obviously kitted out. So, H27 Potato. See, now that's what I was expecting to happen. He's taking me down to half a heart. Okay. Oh, he's encasing me in obsidian. Now that was funny. That is actually a really clever and funny and a little bit cruel thing to do to a player, especially a new player who's AFK. Now, he can't know for definite I've got nothing in my inventory. All he'd be able to see is I've got nothing in my hotbar. He was using hacks. So he's found basically what appears to be a new player who is just standing in the Nether hub and encased them in obsidian. Dear. So if I was a genuine AFK player, then suddenly coming back and finding myself in this situation probably wouldn't be ideal. But since I'm actually doing this for a bit of fun and to see what happened, I'm impressed. That was funny. That is an inventive and funny response to do. So, just been kicked for being AFK. And when I come back, I guess I am punching. Which I did. So, I didn't record that because, like I say, it takes a few minutes to punch yourself through obsidian. And I would have needed to break 2 blocks because of the height of the bedrock. So, I haven't included that because, I can be honest, that's a bit dull. So I'm back in the overworld and I've put myself on the cross axis, but where a couple of highways meet. So I think I am 2,000 blocks out. So I'm at 2,000. Because I am, other than that first person, nobody came across me in the overworld. Figured this is possibly a better place as the potentially more traffic, because following highways, especially obsidian roads, is one of the safer ways of getting out of spawn. So we'll see what happens. Back in a bit. And we are back in the Nether again. So yeah, after another session in the Overworld and not seeing anybody, I've come back into Nether, and this time around I've placed myself very close to the hub. I'm about 50 blocks from 0 in the Nether, but I'm up against an obsidian wall. So as you can see behind me, we have a couple of players who I believe were having a crystal PvP battle. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to see them too closely, and as they were battling, a random person showing up wasn't really important to them at the time. So we shall see what happens while we're here. So in the previous clip, I started saying about why there was such a gap between recording this and then me doing the editing and potentially putting it on YouTube. And initially, I was thinking, oh, you know, it's people might not enjoy watching it, so I probably won't bother doing it. But thinking about it, I realised that doesn't matter. I'm making these videos because I'm enjoying making them. I'm doing them as a hobby. I'm going to be honest, I'd love the fact if people watch them, enjoy them. I really love that. But at the same time, I'm not doing them just for that. So I was kicked at that point, but because we had a couple of people crystal PvPing, I decided to stay in that location. So I'll come back to what I was talking about in a minute, because we have another player. Now, this player, I can see that he's got nothing in his hotbar, no armor on, so he's clearly a noob, but he's on the other side of the obsidian. So we shall watch what happens. And he's got himself stuck. So he obviously, using hacks, saw me, came over and went looking for a gap through, and has fallen through a hole where he's now stuck in a too high hole in obsidian and therefore can't jump out. Well, I guess he's punching. So back to what I was saying. Yeah, I do these videos because I enjoy doing them. I do it as a hobby. I do it because it's fun. He's still punching away. So yeah, so I decided, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make this video. In the time between recording this and me finally doing the narration and final editing, I've been spending a lot of time on Constantium. So, another Anarchy server. I did look into joining it when I first started on 2B, but at the time you had to apply to be whitelisted, and it didn't seem to be a lot of people playing. However, since then, they've run a test map, and they've now gone back to the original map. You no longer have to be whitelisted. Oh, hey! Somebody just escaping. So I knew just escaping, and our friend there just got killed. I suspect I'm next. There we go. See, that's what you expect. That's what you expect. So I've stayed in the same location, and see what happens. I think I'm gonna die again. So yeah, that's the sort of thing I was expecting to happen in the Nether. So this time around, we are pretty much at the hub. We're in the other side of the wall where the crystal PvP happened, and that shulk is empty. I did look. So yeah, so I've been spending a lot of time on Constantium because Constantium has updated. It is on 1.19.2 and I'm loving it. I am loving the time I'm spending on there. I just really want 2B to update because, as I've said before, 2B is, I consider, my Minecraft home. I love it here. I love the map. I love the chaos. But I love playing on the 1.19 server. And I'm enjoying being there. You know, there are times when there's like 80 to 100 people on, and the TPS can drop to less than 10, sometimes as low as 6. And the play is still smoother than it is on 2B when we've got like 16, 17 TPS. So if you want to get killed playing AFK, you want to be at the hub. Alright, so I think that's about it. Yes, so if you're interested, Constantium has updated to 1.19. So I think we'll call this and end this here. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.